Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this evening as the one and only AK and the legend that is Bridgeman. Evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Oxshire. Evening, Bridgeman. Evening, everybody that's listening on YouTube and Facebook and all the other channels.
Yeah. Good evening to you, Foxchair and Foxy and AK. You'll see me through here tonight. Can I just say a huge shout out to all the Rangers fans for staying there and the weekend. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. I just obviously gutted, but here, what can I say? To all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yeah, gutted's the right word, mate. Gutted at our first half performance. Gutted at the lack of quality up front when we have good chances. Gutted at the refereeing decision. Gutted that some of our senior players can't defend. Gutted the way we showed the endeavour and the attitude we showed in the second half didn't get us rewards. Gutted that we gave a couple of stupid goals away, and gutted that we never took a chance to make it 2 each, which would have made it a different game. And also extremely gutted at the officials' performances. Right, okay, we'll go straight to the tune, we'll close the show, AK? Yeah?
I am good with that. Thanks for coming.
Right, so in all these negatives, we'll go through the game and we'll take it in bits, yeah? And we'll discuss it. Firstly, how are you, AK? How are you?
I'm all right. Back to work today, so holiday over.
Aye. How are you, Bridge?
I'm very well, thanks very much, and I hope you're good. Yeah.
I'm all right, mate. A real busy day in the real world, yeah, but
in the real world, aye.
However, I'm still gutted, mate. It doesn't go away. It's another loss. Even people might argue it was a moral victory in 90 minutes, and they have to beat us in 90 minutes for a long, long time now. But we'll look at our own negatives when we start talking about the game, AK, and we'll develop it for there, yeah?
Aye, no problem, mate. I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, right, okay. We just started awfully. You know, we were slow and ponderous with the ball, the back. We put ourselves under pressure. We kind of hold it up front. And if anybody thinks that Sharmiti's the answer at the moment, he's miles short, mate, miles short. So when the ball does come back up front, the way we're playing, it's coming straight back. Danilo was posting missing, along with others in the first half, mate. The midfield was dreadful. But the leader, for me, the way he played the game and the pedestrian, Suter, who has a lot of the ball, and they were happy with him, and then we just get into a fine call after fine call after fine call. And we always looked as if we were in trouble. But bizarrely, mate, we made some excellent chances, AK, yeah?
Oh, aye, definitely. Sharmiti in particular. But you've got to bury them, pal, when they come up. You've got to be clinical because opportunities like that don't come along too often in these games, and that's
Goals
where
change matches, mate. Goals change matches.
100%. We got away with the kind of own goal thing, with the you've no touched on that yet. I think they just scored before the big chance for Sharmiti, but that was what kind of defending was that? Awful.
The comedy errors, mate, that the ball gets there, and then we're all at 6s and 7s, and obviously the ricochet. And look, VAR bailed us out, yeah. And if I'm being honest, I don't think VAR was ever brought in for the minute decisions. He's offside minutely, but he's offside. That's the rules. It was brought in for howlers, but we'll benefit that and we'll take that, Bridgeman. AK?
Oh, definitely. Aye, as you say, I think everybody's just looking at each other in dismay about what's actually happened. And Jiga's trying to clear the ball, hits Sophie Raskin and loops our Butland into the back of the net, and we're all going, how did that come about? But that just sums our defending up for the start of that game. But thankfully, I think the whole stadium was actually shocked that we got a decision favour to rule that goal out.
Well, the whole stadium would have been shocked for different reasons, mate.
The brown envelope didn't quite reach the officials by that point.
Aye, so that and well, as you said, mate, we got a bit of luck there, and we'll take it. And then quite quickly we lost a goal, decent delivery. I don't know if you've watched it back, AK. Have you had the time to watch it back?
I didn't today, no, but I can remember. But
I know you like a blue movie. Just go and look where Chamitri's standing, mate, for a ball coming in. Mm-hmm. He's at the back post, Martin Nabdy, and he's 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
If he can't go into that place and clear it and make it hard to get it past the past man, obviously, to be fair, it's good delivery, decent delivery played into that area. Raskin, who's done it a lot for us, mistimes it. Well, might not have mistimed it, might have just delivery took him out the game. Young Mahoma, who was actually one of our better players yesterday, we know he's no a defender, mate. He doesn't actually run and go physical up against the guy. Made it so easy for him, and bang, we're one down. So terrible defending, but decent delivery, if I'm being honest, AK, yeah.
Oh, it's a great area to go and attack, and Johnny Kenny makes the run, and that's where the problem with your zonal marking becomes, because you're jumping for a standing position. It's far better if you're running onto it, and the boy makes the contact perfect, and Butland's got no chance, he's got no time to react, and all your defenders are standing like statues.
Yes.
That's normal.
Yes. Well, we'll come to that bridge, But so we went 1-2. We've not played, and we got what we deserved, if we're honest. But again, I'll go back to it. In that first half, Chamichi should have scored twice, and Raskin should have scored. Yeah, should have scored. And
great chances.
Yeah, and two of them maybe even failed to hit the target. And I don't even know if Raskin's was in. I've not watched that back today. I don't even know if his was going in. Yeah, because he hit it right off a goal, and it might have been gone wide, but I'd need to look at that again. But real good chances we missed. And then we'll get two more major talking points, because we know how bad we were. We were off all over the park, mate. Asgard, who'd been very poor, if we're honest, never affected the game, attacking or defending. I couldn't work out where he was playing, because he sort of plays between these lines on the left-hand side of the pitch, mate. And if he doesn't get the ball, he offers very little. I know he's a skillful player, and I know that there was I don't think there was any intent at Gizo. It was mental, Bridgemana. Mental just gave the referee an easy decision to make it.
Well, I have to say, from my days as centre half, that happened a lot. People going in. It's only knee high. They're not that far in. I thought, to be honest, he was the one in possession, i.e. a Rangers man. He's got the ball. He's flicked it over somebody's head. He's still got the ball, and he tries to pass it back to his comrade, if you follow what I mean. And he does. The next thing you know, he turns around. Of course, he catches the guy when his guy's coming in. But he was. Remember, he was the one who was in possession. But I don't know if that was deliberate at all. Not for me. It wasn't deliberate.
I don't think it was deliberate, mate. But I think it was a red card, AK.
I'm in your camp, I'm afraid, Ox. You look at. I try to look at it for what happened. How would you feel if that happened against you? You'd be screaming for the opponent to get red carded in that position. Listen, I know he was semi in control of the ball. He made a good skill with controlling the ball in the chest, and he made a good turn. But when the ball's up in the air like that, I don't think he's in control of it anymore. I know he gets the toe to the ball, but it gives the referee an opportunity to make a decision. And you've seen the marks on Ralston. I mean, Ralston makes the most of it as you would do, and he's shown him the stud marks. But for me, if that's Celtic doing that to one of our players, I'm screaming for a red. So I didn't have an issue with it, I'm afraid.
I don't fit into that kind of school where it depends on what club. Anybody in that position, I just didn't think that was a penalty. I didn't think it was a penalty. Sorry, a red card. Didn't think so. If you watch most games, I know what you said. I know what you said. I just don't see it that way, the same as you guys. I just don't see it. I don't see the viciousness in that at all. I just don't see it. That because of red card.
I don't
Sorry,
think
guys.
it was. I genuinely don't think it was deliberate. But still, you're not in control. You get your boot up there. You're leading yourself.
But you've just passed the ball.
It doesn't matter.
You've passed the ball away.
It doesn't matter, mate.
So what's the fullback? What's the fullback doing? He's coming in for what? What's he coming in for?
It doesn't matter, mate. You've endangered an opponent, and to me, as much it's a red card. Especially, it might have been a come on, you used to sort it out back in your day, but modern football, it's a red card. AK.
Nah, it's as trivial as that now, Bryce. The game's changed. It's no a man's game anymore. And it's when the ball's in there like that, it's debatable whether you're in control or no. He tries to pull out it. There's no malice there at all for Asgard to do any intent to injury or that, but in essence he caught the guy, he's got studs up, so and Walsh is right on the spot. He couldn't get a red card out quick enough.
No,
yes, but can I just say to you guys, think about I know you're going to talk about the goalkeeper getting kicked in the head. If you get a chance to watch that again, everybody just try and watch that, and you'll see that guy does it deliberately.
We'll come to that in a minute, Bridge. We'll come to that in a minute.
Pal.
Yeah, right. So, but what disappointed me when I seen the replay, AK, he was surrounded with Celtic players, and I know he's a maverick or he's an individual and he's got ability. We all know that. But the ball was just to knock it forward and put them under pressure. Yeah, what he was trying to do is fantasy football. He was playing for himself, not for the team, AK. And he winds me up, and I don't, apart from one moment of brilliance, he's done nothing, in my opinion. He doesn't work hard enough, and then he's left himself exposed and put us in trouble in a big game. Yeah. And I don't see what the fuss is about personally about him as a player, because he's done very little in our jersey. And I would have said that before yesterday's game, and yesterday's just came confirmed. For me, we're under no pressure. We're getting out of jail because we're started slowly creeping into the game, which we've been really poor in. And he goes and does that, yeah. And we're one down and puts us down to 10 men. It was crazy for me.
It was a crazy individual decision. Definitely, you can't defend him. And I've been a big advocate of him because I've seen him before with Wigan, but he's coming into a massive club where the scrutiny is he's never experienced this level of scrutiny before. Every decision you make on that park can either benefit or detract away from what you're trying to do as a team, and that was a stupid, silly decision to make and to put us down to 10 men. I mean, young Aaron's done it in Bruges as well, and it went from bad to worse for that. So that decision yesterday, your discipline has got to be bang on. Don't make any stupid decisions. Don't make any rash challenges. And I'm afraid he put himself into that bracket and put us under the cosh needlessly, because we were already under the cosh, don't he? A goal down.
But we were just coming into the game a wee bit, yeah. And you're hoping, we can't play any worse, which we didn't in the second half. Right, Bridge, we'll come to your point. But it was right on the stroke of half time. The ball's broke and our team goes out and the guy comes through, mate. And how that's no a red card is beyond me. And I'll tell you why. You've watched it back. I don't know if you've watched it back today, AK, in the cold light of day. He moves his foot deliberate and late to his head. It's a red card every day of the week. He's endangered an opponent. And what makes it worse? Walsh gives him the yellow. So he's admitted he's seen it and he's done something wrong. What did they book him for if he'd done nothing wrong? So did he just book him because he booted him in the head? So, AK, we've accepted our medicine and we've admitted we've been reckless. A red card all day long.
100%. There's no dispute about it. We've seen the IFAB ruling on it. Any intent, not to play the ball, you strike somebody in the head or the face area, he's 2 inches away from his eye, for goodness sake. If that's no endangering a player, I don't know what is. It's a red card, 100%. And look at his reaction. He knows. He knows he's done wrong.
It was a coward's challenge, wasn't it?
Oh, shocking. But he gets away with it again. And before that as well, Walks, if you can remember, I've got wrote down there because I was on the show yesterday. Maeda, cynical challenge, no yellow card. What do you call him? Ralston, blocking off Megoma, no card. How many times did they do that all day? I think Rob counted Maeda 8 or 9.
What do you mean you were on? What do you mean you were on the show yesterday?
I gave the boys a wee hornet. Did you not know that?
No, I did not. But we'll have words about that later on. Carry on.
Okay. No.
Bridge, how do you spell P45?
Let me get my double time first.
No. Oh, you don't want to do the big games, eh? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It has been noted, by the way. Has been noted. Right, red card all day long. Yeah, we'll come to the other decisions, mate. Yeah, the other refereeing. Yeah. Bridgeman, you were going to say, mate. Phil, all day long, red card, mate. Red card.
Oh, it's a mystery. One of life's mysteries that only happens in the Glasgow theatre here. That's all that happens. I've said this before about Scottish referees, and particularly that one that was in charge the other day. It's better not to give a tip for Rangers. Don't give a decision for Rangers. It's best not to, because it only causes problems. And they just he kicked the goalkeeper in the head. The ball's in the goalkeeper's hands for at least 4 seconds before his foot comes and kicks the goalkeeper in the head. And by the way, that's a disgrace. It's absolutely disgraceful. There's no red card for that.
Yeah.
That's an assault.
That can happen if there's a coming together, right? Yeah, we all know that. But when you watch them and they watch you movement of the foot, AK, that's the naughty bit, innit?
Oh, definitely. He sees the ball's in the keeper's hands, so there's absolutely no need for him to make a movement towards the ball. The keeper's in control of the ball, so it's 100% a red card. Could not believe it. Didn't get.
I agree. Listen, I was speaking to Albert this morning, and he was talking about Maeda's fouling in the game, mate. And you're right. I mean, how it took so long for some of their players to get booked. And there was one in the first half, and I can't remember who was involved when it was in the middle of our half. Surprise, because we were hardly out it. And one of our players ran across, and there was a blatant pullback with the jersey. A yellow card all day long. They let play carry on and then never went back to book the player. All these things influence a game. All these things influence a game of football. Because once you've been booked, you have to play the game differently. Yeah. Agree, Bridge? I know you were never booked, mate.
Oh my God. I've just lost my train of thought there. Sorry. Carry on with AK, will you please? AK. Oh my goodness.
That could possibly be the Maeda, because I've got cynical foul Maeda, no card.
Yeah.
Aye.
Now I've got it. Now it came back in there when you said that. There was about a dozen dreadful fouls by Celtic. 90% of the, by the way, is body checking. 90% of the body checking with 2 hands up, That's just what they're doing. And that, by the way, it's not just them. It's happening all over football. We appear to be the victims of this, because I don't see our team doing that amount of body checks. I just don't see it. But I might be biased there.
Too nice at a team, mate, but that's another subject I'm sure we'll come to once we get the game finished. Right, so it goes in at half time, and let's be honest. Let's really be honest. We're fearing the worst, AK.
Oh, with a poor, very first half, but I don't know if you agree with this or no, but I know Giga got absolutely slaughtered with the Rangers support. But do you not think that Tavernier could have helped him out a lot more than what he does? He was more
Well,
interested in going forward than he was back to covering defence with him.
I think the problem is, mate, we weren't clearing our lines and we weren't pushing my team up the park. We were putting myself under pressure, mate. And Giga got the ball and he just looked like a bomb scare. Now, Tav's been told to play a certain position and he's in front of Giga. If Tav's not on, he's just got to go long and turn their defence. And we've seen how poor they were at defending, mate, when you got them turning. Yeah. So you just go long and he's just, I'll be honest, mate. Look, we praised the guy and we praised him on Wednesday night because he had a decent performance. I think I used the word arguably his best game for our team. But what he was seeing last night was back to the Bruges game at Ibrox, mate. He's not ready to play in the Rangers first team. And Fairwell and his cronies should hang their head in shame, mate, that they brought him in. But that's me changing the subject. He's not ready. He's not experienced enough, and he's no battle scared. Now, you can have young boys that come on. Obviously, they young guys scored the 2 goals. Yeah, that happens. I get that. But we've got guys that were brought in to be mainstays in our team, mate, and he ain't ready. He's miles off it. If he was one of our own, he wouldn't even get in the first team. It's a bad decision. But we're so short as a squad that it made sense to play him yesterday. And obviously, they don't really fancy Big Fernandez out the centre halves. So, no, mate, I didn't think Tav could have helped him there. I think of course, Tav didn't have a great first half along with the team, but the decision making and the pace that we passed the ball put us under pressure, particularly dictated for John Suter. Bridgeman?
Yeah, it's just, well, many days, many weeks, many months we've been saying a similar thing. We are a very poor team when it comes to holding possession, and when we've got it, what do we do with it? Decision making very poor, and when we try to push long ball, my goodness gracious, it's, you mentioned Suter there. I think he pushed the ball up and it went straight out the park. It went straight out the park. Never hit the grass, nothing. Straight out the park a number of times, and that's not even as Rose said that last minute, a last second desperate tackle or something. No, that's a pass. He's trying to pass it up the wing, straight into the crowd. No, we're very poor at it, Oxtail. I'm not being funny. We're very poor at taking throw-ins, and we're very poor at taking free kicks, unless it's Tav that's taking it, and Tav's if he's in form, and he hasn't been that much form with free kicks of late. I've said it a million times, we're coming up as a back 3 or 4, and we're getting up there, and we end up one of the two centre back runs into. They end up running into the opposition half, and that should never happen. They shouldn't be doing it, because when they get up there, they don't know what they're doing. They're not nice footballers, tricky, easy going, even fast. None of them got that. They just see them running right in there, and they don't know what to do with the ball. And eventually, it bounces off a defender or comes back up one of your players, and away it goes. And then before you know it, we're 3-2 down, and numbers going back away. Just terribly what.
Yeah.
However,
I just thought the big man didn't have a good game, mate. Look, to be fair, mate, in the first half, he wasn't alone. There wasn't one of our players. Maybe young Jaden got 5, maybe 6, mate. Yeah, there was not one of our players. Our back 4 was poor. Well, our back 5, stroke the 2 wingmen, collectively, when Tav wasn't great in the first half. Our midfield, Diamondi and Raskin. No, there was glimpses, mate. Obviously, people made passes through for the chances and all that. But as far as being consistent in the whole half, I don't think any other team get past marks yesterday in the first half. Maybe young Jaden, maybe a 5.5, and that's me being generous. He can maybe take a point off him for losing the goal, so he gets down to 4.5. So we were just poor over the pitch, AK, the first half, yeah.
No, listen, I accept that. Celtic started with intensity. They started on the front foot, but when we're under the cosh like that, and it's obvious to everybody, the setup, the formation, the structure, it wasn't working as good as what it was at Easter Road. You need to change your own game. You know, you need to that bit deeper, go a 5-4-1, make the lines hard to play through. I just thought Jiga was getting exposed far too much himself. It was pulling Suter across out the middle of the park, leaving big gaping holes down the centre of the pitch. And at one point, Jiga had Tonecki, Nigrin and Sirachi all running at him. And he's meant to cope with the three cell. I just thought Tavernier was more interesting, wandering up the park, risking, looking for an out ball and forget about everything that was the fundamentals of defending and keeping as a unit and keeping in the game. Because at that point, we could have been 2-3-0 down and that'd have been that game over.
It's easy, mate. Somebody runs it. You just go long, mate. Just go long. And Bridgman played, if you're 30 yards from your own goal, you just put it up the park. Or if you think you're in trouble, mate, you just clear your lines and put it out the park and regroup, mate. Yeah. When you're the man in control with possession, and you get caught like a rabbit in the headlights. Caught like a rabbit in the headlights. In my opinion, it was just a big game, and the boy didn't he? He's got pace. He's got pace. But his first touch, I think the ball ran under his foot. And for there on in, the game just passed him by. Only my opinion, Akey. Everybody sees the game slightly different. I just thought he get caught. And I'll be honest with you, he's not the first one to have a bad game, but I thought he was poor. Arguably the worst player in the first half. Right, let's get to the second half. Right, so we makes a change. We takes after Danilo, who didn't think influenced the game at all. But he made a nice pass. Let's be honest. And if we'd have scored the goal, we'd have said, wow, Danilo's had a brilliant assist. But if you don't put the ball in the net, it means nothing, Bridgman.
Could you repeat that last bit, Oxley? Could you repeat that last bit, John? Oh, so keep getting interrupted.
No, you're right. You only get the credit if Chermita goes in and sticks the ball in the net. So, But Danilo, it's a problem with all your strikers, Ox. We've not really had a Morelos type player that can lead the line himself. Not even Dessers. Dessers, he could go up there and put a bit of endeavour in, but when the ball goes up the park, it needs to stick to bring your midfield on, and the ball just kept coming back at us, and it was wave after wave of attack. So it was just poor all round. Asgard not getting involved. Diamondi, Raskin, oblivious in midfield. Just nobody was getting past marks. Butland actually kept us in the half, to be quite truthful.
Right, let's move on to the second half, yeah? So the second half, we takes Danilo off and we brings on the gas man. By the way, who I don't think looks fit, just my opinion. Right, so we've changed it and he's positive. Well, let's be really honest and let's be fair. As much as we're critical collectively of our team in the first half, on the second half, they showed desire, hunger, energy, and deserved an equaliser, and arguably deserved to win the game in 90 minutes. We know they had the odd chances broke away, but there was only one team playing football, and the majority of that second half. And I was so pleased with the response. We get the penalty kick, and we'll come to that as well. Bridge AK, you can give me your views on that. We get the penalty kick, that puts it away 1 each, and you're thinking, wow. I don't know about through your head, but see when we get the equaliser, bizarrely it went through my head that I said, I wonder if we'd ever showed this hunger and desire with the previous manager. Bridgman.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You said there, the second half was entirely different, opposite to the first half, as far as Rangers were concerned. We started playing football inside their half and playing good football too. And so they were reduced to chopping people down and all the nonsense that they got into, so I thought Rangers did very, very well. I think that you mentioned the centre half, the DG or something like his name is. So I'll tell you now, there's two guys came for the English Premiership. He's one of them, and Chermiti is the other one, the big centre forward. I'm sorry, if they guys were trying to play in the English Premier League, they'd never get a game. They are dreadful. No form, no fitness, no nothing either of the two of them. That's only my point. However, I do think in the second half we were a far different team. And yes, I agree with you, Ox there. when we got the equaliser, and we started kept putting pressure on and pressure on, if we could have got one goal in there, they would have started to collapse all over the park. They would have started to collapse because
Well,
we
did,
were
mate.
far
They
better.
did. They were panicking, mate. They were
Yeah,
panicking.
indeed, yeah. But I just wish we could have.
Oh, we were certainly asking questions, so I think they were a bit shocked that the changes we actually came out more positive. And that's credit to Danny Rowe for recognising that. I would certainly, if I'm criticising Taff for his first half performance, I've got to give him credit for driving the team forward in the second half. A lot of the good positive play came through him, and it kind of spread to the rest of the team. It's as if they realised, gee, we're only 1-0 down here, we're still in this game. So why not just go at them? And we did for a good 10, 15 minutes early in the second half. They were under the cosh a wee bit. I thought Ralston picked up his yellow card there.
Should have been
Maeda
had
kicking the
another
chest.
second yellow for the body check as well, out in the touchline, AK.
Absolutely. Maeda kicking the chest for Diamondi. And then a yellow card to McGregor as well. So that they were panicking a bit at that point, and we were well in the ascendancy. But that the goal wasn't coming at that point again.
So, listen, young Gasman picks the ball up, skips about him, comes to the wing, mate. You're thinking, well, we look as if we've got the extra man. He puts a shot in. The player falls. He's already been booked, mate. We've had that happened in England already. There was a long debate about it. Yeah, listen, he stopped the ball getting in because his body was falling and it hits his horn. It's a penalty kick. It's a penalty kick. And in my opinion, a second yellow card. Yeah. Because of what he's done, because he's not in control. I don't think it was deliberate. I don't think that matters with the mad rules now. But it's a second yellow, and then arguably they should do it to 10 men now. Now, if Trusty goes off, people say that bringing him down to 9. It's a different game, different things when it happened. You can't never be able to answer the questions. But in that moment, in my opinion, it should be a penalty kick, second yellow card, and all of a sudden the game's different. Yeah, and we're on the ascendancy. Big moment, AK.
Oh, another huge moment in the game with the officials, Nick Walsh. If he gives a penalty, which he did give the penalty, it's a handball then. Or it hits his elbow. But if his elbow's no there, it's underneath his body, it's heading goal bound and probably in the back of the net. So it's a red card, second yellow card. Don't know if you've seen Andy Halliday's reaction to that at all. He done a podcast thing with Open Goal yesterday, and he's like that right away. How's that not a second yellow if he's getting a penalty? So they know the rules, but he doesn't even go to the VAR. I don't know what the conversation is with the VAR team, but they go with the on-field decision, but they don't say to him, well, it's going to be a second yellow then if you're getting a penalty. But again, he doesn't go to the VAR.
I don't think VAR can tell you to book somebody, mate. That's the problem. So they're talking about that. Yeah, they're talking about that in England, where they're going to be able to review every second booking. But I don't think VAR can tell you to book somebody, AK. So therein lies the problem.
What I mean is, Ox, is it's obvious that it's a goal bound shot.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter. They can't tell. They can say your decision's right, penalty kick. Yeah, they can't say it's a yellow card. VAR can't decide yellow cards.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I stand corrected.
That's mental. That was. You watch that guy going down, and he's diving. He's diving to get his back against the ball, and his elbow's out, and it hits the elbow. He knows exactly what he's doing. Exactly what he's doing. And that was the deliberate handball. In my opinion, he's putting his arms down there to make sure the ball doesn't get through. That's all I can say. As far as I'm concerned, it's a red card. And I'll tell you now, virtually every league in the world, that's a red card. Unbelievable. Just a red card. Done.
I don't know if it is a red card with the new rules, Bridge, but it's
definitely. Why? Handball in the box isn't a red card?
No. Double jeopardy, mate. You get a penalty and you can book them. Yeah. You don't get
Oh,
sent off.
it's either a penalty or it's a booking.
No, it's not a straight red now, mate. Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is either a penalty or it's a booking.
It's both.
Is that what you're saying?
It's both. It's a penalty and a booking. And because he's been booked, it becomes a red card, AK, yeah?
Absolutely. So what
Right.
do you mean double jeopardy then?
If he hadn't been booked, mate, he couldn't get sent off for that.
Mm. So Ox, what you're saying then is because Nick Walsh gave that as an on-field decision rather than waiting the VAR team, then he has to stand by just giving him a penalty and no a yellow card. But if he'd have went to the VAR with no decision at all and just waiting them, they could have told him penalty and yellow card.
Don't know if VAR can tell them he booked somebody, mate.
But we're saying it's a red card as well as a penalty. though.
No, it's a second yellow, mate.
Aye, but I know, that's what I mean. A second yellow equals a red.
Aye, but it's no a sending off. Yeah? I don't know.
Aye, I know it. Aye, it's not a direct red card, but it's a second yellow.
Yes.
And it's a yellow card offence, which equates to a red.
But I don't know if VAR can tell you to book somebody, yeah?
Right, okay.
Yeah. All right, but...
So back to what I was saying earlier, that referee made a decision not to give it, right? Not to get a booking. Why? Why would that referee do that?
I don't know, mate.
Of course we don't, because I've just said to you all the time, you watch it, there will be a number of decisions made and are absolutely unbelievable. And because they don't want to actually give that decision, it's going to be positive for the Rangers. He gave the decision as a penalty. He's not going to double it up on it. And I think it's shocking. I just think it's shocking. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, listen, I'm actually agreeing with you. It was a penalty kick and a second yellow card. Yeah.
Ox.
Yes, mate.
Ox, this is the same referee that went against the VAR last year at Tannadice and sent Diamondi up for assist.
It was Enzo Tough. Yes. It's going to be interesting how Mr. Collum gets out of this one, isn't it?
Aye.
Right, we better move on because quickly we've not got these phone lines open. Right. But big moment. They had a couple of chances. As the game went on, we ran out of steam a wee bit. Got to 90 minutes. Done really well, positive. Post a goal pretty much right away. I think it takes I've not watched it back today, but having watched it yesterday, I think it takes the slightest of touches off of John Suter. Don't know what you two think. And that beats Jack. If it hasn't touched John Suter, I think the goal was made a mess of it, even though it was a good hit. It was a fair strike, but where it was right down his throat. But then we're 2-1 down. They've had a few chances, but we've still had another big moment in the game. AK, the gas man's got to score, isn't he? He's got to score.
Gasman's got to score. Miovski's got to score as well. After that day, but you're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The gas man's was a better one for me, yeah.
Aye.
He
let Scales come in though, didn't he? But
aye. I mean, Miovski's just, I don't know. He looks yards off it, yeah. And it was decent defending, if I'm honest. He got back and made a decent block, but if he's a bit sharper, he gets a shot away and he should score. But there you go, it becomes 2 each. You see the game out, you play differently. Yeah, of course, they had chances when we were trying to throw bobbies forward. And then we brought Joe Rothwell on. He contributed a lot, didn't he? Wow. Right, so Mr.
Big fat zero.
What was that?
A big fat zero.
Yeah, all the players were brought in. The Giga. I mean, we know some of them. A lot of the players were poor. The Giga, Asgard, that moment, the centre forward. That's arguably 3 were big signings. Young Magoma with the goal wasn't great. Yeah, you know, and we've not improved our team. We all know it. They all know it, right? We all know it. We all see it. They're not any better than what we had. And they might be young, some of them are on loan, but wow, have we wasted some money. Right, okay, just a quick shout out. Better do some housekeeping here. A shout out to old Davy, who had his operation in the Queen Elizabeth today. Was it a hip? I think it was a hip. I wonder how he had a hip problem. Yes, a successful operation. So a big shout out to old Davey. He'll be back on the dance floor soon. And just to let you know, we'll get some technical issues. So there'll be no tunes and no jingles tonight. So just phone right in and we'll sort you out as normal. But there'll be no tunes, no jingle. And the phone lines are now open. 0141 356 1972 or join us here in Teams. Right, is that a quick summary of the second half? The extra time, mate? We ran out of steam. We ran out of gas. We still had moments, mate. And we showed great energy and some of the boys really covered grass. I couldn't understand taking Raskin off, if I'm being honest. I couldn't understand it. AK? Yeah, Danny obvious reasons. Yeah, he maybe wanted to bring some legs into that area. Yeah, maybe get us up the park more pace. But the Ant-Man never showed any pace, really. He keeps coming inside. We've not seen him go down the wing since the Pilsner game.
You're right, and probably because Raskins went off the park, Callum McGregor's got that space to take the shot for the second goal. But when you're playing over 80 minutes with 10 men, I think that's what basically told on that the team. They looked knackered in the extra time.
Yeah. Bridgeman, it's a hard game when you're playing 12 against 10, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's really murder. Yeah, and by the way, that's when you can see, you get to the last 20 minutes of the extra time, and you can see the legs starting to go. And by the way, I must admit, I saw a lot of that among the Celtic players as well. Their legs were going. Sorry, say that again, Ox,
They were doing cramp more than we were.
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely, yeah. Look, hats off to the players. They stayed the course. We're down to 10 men, and once you do that, it's an absolute. I think it's criminal sometimes that a player gets sent off. But I like you guys have said, I'm wrong, but I still don't think that was a red card offence. However, he got sent off, so we're down to 10 men, and we fought through that. We fought through it, and we eventually lost 3 goals, and that's all there was to it for me. We lost 3 goals today.
Aye. We ran out of steam in the 90 minutes, mate. It was a moral victory. The first half was shocking, mate. If it was a boxing match at half time, it'd have been stopped and we'd have get beat, mate. But in the second half, we come back and we'd have won the fight. At the end, AK, if we'd have managed to get to the bell at the half time, yeah.
Oh, we certainly put ourselves back in the fight, that's for sure. But Ox, as I say, that 80 minutes playing with just 10 men, Celtic have gone 71 domestic matches without a red card, with Brenda called beating a cheat at Tynecastle last March. And
the March before, mate. The last March, that was 2023.
Aye, it's 71 domestic matches.
Sorry, carry on, mate, carry on.
No, that's all right. But I believe they've had 4 red cards in 21 European games. And they wonder why there are no Scottish officials at any major championships anymore. There tells the story.
Aye, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
See the goal. See the goal that McGregor scored for them.
Aye.
Yeah, you mentioned, and I meant to comment on that. I actually think that Suter, to me, and I don't mean to be offensive to anyone, but it just looked as if he ducked. I don't know about you guys, and let the ball go past him, maybe thinking that the goalkeeper's got a better view. But I actually think he ducked, and it hit his head, and it took a deflection, and that's why the goalkeeper didn't get it. That's what I think.
It didn't make himself bigger, that's for sure. And he rolled out, and I think it just took a wee nick off him, Mickey. I don't know what you think.
It possibly could have taken a slight nick. I mean, McGregor hit it well, but it was central and it was pretty much, straight at Butland. But it looked a wee bit, he was unsighted, and it was the pace of the ball that beat him, because he seemed to kind of dive past it, or it went through his hands. It possibly, I don't know, but I mean, the way the defenders is these days, they need to put their hands behind their back because they don't want to silly it and make themselves bigger to give away a penalty. And I think Souttar's just looking at the ball and he's trying to react, but he didn't have the time to react. But the goal 2-1 doing at that point was a bit of a kick in the stains after doing so well in the second 45 and putting a lot of effort and endeavour into the game.
They were panicking, mate. They were panicking. If we'd have kept him out longer, mate, yeah, the words, and obviously the game went on, the pressure's on them because they've not been able to break us down, and then everybody starts looking at the clock and you just clear your lines, you maybe become more solid, whereas for that moment on we were having to be a bit more open than we could have been to try and get an equaliser. By the way, I've got to congratulate two lots of people yesterday, yeah? Two lots of people yesterday. I thought the coaching staff were so positive and changed things around. Yeah, we didn't react well in the first half, but they definitely got a tune out in the second half and made some decisions and kept making decisions to try and win the game of football because it was a cup tie. Obviously, if it had been a league game, you'd have been delighted with that to fight back and get the draw in the 90 minutes. But we never. But they were great, and I thought our support in that second half were magnificent. Obviously, the emotions hit when you've lost the second goal and you're a bit flat because you put that much energy in. But I thought the support were superb, and you'd only thought there was one team winning at that second half and one team playing with 10 men, and it wasn't us. So as much as we criticise our team, I think we're pretty fair, okay? Praise where it's due, and praise to Danny Rowe and the support.
Aye, definitely. Aye, they certainly heard them. That's for sure, because they needed a reason to get behind the team, and the players were showing. You recognise the effort and everything that the players are getting out in the park, and you could see that a lot of them were blowing out their backside, but they were rolling up the sleeve and showing a bit of endeavour. But unfortunately, it comes to another kind of sob story where like Scotland in a major championships. How many times do we need to fall in the final hurdle?
I get it, mate. I understand, mate. But you've got to critique the performance as it is, mate. You've got to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We try to be.
As much as you put, I'm what, the injury, the extra time and all that. Could I say we deserved to win? No, couldn't he? Just on based on extra time. But I'll tell you what, when it was 2-1, we a chance to score twice, mate, and that makes a game different. You get a bit more energy, they get a bit more jittery. You never know what can happen. The pressure's after them when they've got the extra man and they're winning the game. Games are different. Goals change games. Bridgeman, yeah?
Foxter, can I ask you a question?
Yes, mate.
It's just that something comes into your mind and you're thinking, look, we're getting close to the new year, shall we say. Hopefully our management and the board now see that some poor quality players that we've got, or lower quality players, I should say, than Rangers are used to. Do you think there's any chance that the Bears are going to get a decent team out of them for signings? Or is it just?
Oh mate, listen, this is a big problem, and I don't know if the right's the problem, but I'll ask AK a few questions and he can answer it. Is Chermiti a better player than Dessers? And I had my problems with Dessers, AK.
No.
Nope. Here's one that will shock you. Is De Jager a better player than Proper? There's one who I thought was a bomb scare.
Probably no. As well. I know where you're going here. The downgrades, isn't it?
Aye. No, we've tried to put legs in the team, but it's no worked. Listen, we've been joined by somebody on the way from Western Australia. A good friend of the show's, Gary Brown. Evening, guys.
How are you? It's okay. Can you hear me okay?
Aye, I can hear you fine, mate. We can hear you fine. Yeah. They've not changed a bit, mate.
No. I know. Right, first of all, as you probably know, my loyalties lie elsewhere until, up until 2012 they did, to they done what they done to you, right? Now, I've got a few points that I want to bring up to you, right? And I'm giving you it for an outsider looking in, okay?
Okay, mate.
Your club Rangers is a special club. It's not like any other club in the world. Because you represent a certain type of people, okay? As you are probably aware. Now, to play for that club as well and to give your all, you need to be a special person as well, and that's what yous are lacking. I'm sorry to say it, but that's what yous are lacking. Them across the other side of the city, they have had carte blanche over the last 20 to 25 years, and both of their last two captains have been Scottish. Right? Whether you like it or no, they've been Scottish. We don't like them, but they've been Scottish and they know what it's about. Now, back to another point, Ox, and that was the referee. That was the referee on Sunday. After Easter Road last season, when the ball clearly hit the back of the net, and that guy stood and watched it and never gave it, he should never, ever be allowed to referee a Rangers game again. Now, every time you are in a big game, a must-win game, they bring out the same ones all the time, and they do it for a reason. They do it for a reason, and these are just playing with yous. They're playing with yous. They're laughing at yous now. Do you know what I mean?
Right, we do, mate. We do. You don't need to tell us. Carry on, guys.
I've got a couple of things that I've marked down, Ox, right? So just bear with me, and then I'll let you swing me, right? Now, the boy that scored for them, one of the goals, was a 22-year-old Irishman who knew what that club was about, right? The minute Rangers get a young player who know what the club's about, they don't give them a chance. You just need to look at Lewis Ferguson and all these boys that have left to other shores. You need to start taking chances on Scottish players, Ox, you know what I mean? You need to do it, because every time you have been successful, it's been with the biggest majority of players is Scottish. And not just Scottish. You know what I'm going to say, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And that's where you have lost your identity, Ox. You've got too many projects, too many young players that don't know. They've not got a clue about Scottish football. The other thing is your midfield, and that is where you are lacking. I listened to Old Bear last night, and he was 100% correct. Every time that Diamande plays against him, he gets caught in possession time after time after time. And Raskin gets involved with McGregor and all that. They just wind him up, mate. That's the way Scott Brown used to do it. Lennon used to do it. They all do it. They target whoever it is in the middle of the park, and then they just slap them, do whatever they do. Peter Grant, they used to do it all the time, Ox, and they're still doing it. And you haven't learned. You know what I mean? And I'm like every one of yous, mate. I'm getting sick and tired of this, that nobody in this country or in that country is allowed to win anything apart from them. And that's my rant over, mate. And I've got a very thing with this, mate. My team get relegated for nothing because of him, to give him a bloody title as well. You know what I mean? Sorry for the rant.
Listen. I don't think you're alone with some of the points, Gary. Look, we've debated a lot on here. Obviously, first and foremost, we sign Scottish players, and they need to be good enough, and they need to have the mentality. But football at the professional level is 90% attitude, 10% ability, because there's a lot of people with similar abilities, and we're no certain the people with the 90% attitude. We're signing nice young players who might be good and played in the EPL and in a few games, mate. They've no got a clue, mate. They've no got a clue. AK.
Great points, Gary. And listen, I can't argue with anything. I think we all know that, and we've been saying it for long enough. But it comes down to recruitment and who's in charge of recruitment and where they go for the recruitment. And this has been a big problem as well. We discard the Scottish market. We discard the Scottish League. You named Lewis Ferguson. I said years ago Alex Gogic we could have signed, and there he's had a good career with Hamilton, Hibs, St Mirren. He's not the fanciest of players, but he does a solid job for whatever team he put. And sometimes you need one of the guys in the team. We had John Brown years ago. changed him into a defender, and what a defender he turned out to be. But you need the guys, blood and thunder in your team. You're right. Attitude, application, guys who know what the club is all about. We could have had Shanklin there, and we discarded him to go and get a young boy for Portugal that wasn't getting a game at Everton. So 100% right. Can't argue with any of your points, Gary, and welcome to the show again.
Yeah, and you mentioned their two players in the middle of the park are their two captains, mate. Well, they could have been playing for us.
Exactly.
We didn't go and get them. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then go there. They must have a capsule they walk through because they seem to change, mate, and forget where they've came from. But well, I get it. I get what you're saying. We need more. I'll be polite, guys. What you're saying is we need more blue noses in the team. Yeah.
Aye, exactly. Ox. I mean, it's heartbreaking. I mean, I honestly see when I sit and watch it now, you know what I mean, and I see the decisions, and as I says to you, I've got a foot in your camp now, Ox, you know what I mean, and I have done since 2012 after what they tried, because they try to kill you, not just you, they try to destroy everything, our culture. Do you know what I mean? And it's still going on to this day, you know what I mean? But that Lywell or Lawwell, whatever you want to call him, he just stands there and smirks. And he says, well, what he's going to do about it? That's exactly it. What are you going to do about it? No, I just read there online that, around that follow there, that seemingly that Patrick Stewart's went in and had a meeting with that referees, him that runs that referees. And what's he going to say to him? You know what I mean? See if they came out and attacked two referees and went and straight, every decision has went for them. Everything.
What's the risk that? AK, tell me stat about the referees, about the red cards. I don't know if he picked up on that, guys, because he was trying to go on the show. And tell him the one about the fouls per yellow, AK, between them and Aberdeen, by the way. Aberdeen. Listen to this, AK.
The fouls one, I think, was 10.6 fouls. I think for every kind of yellow card that they get. Well, they're the example yesterday. They had 26 fouls to our 13. And I think Aberdeen are like 4.6 fouls, something like that, Ox. But the 71 domestic matches, Gary, they played Hearts, and Rodgers came out and blatantly called beating a cheat. 71 domestic matches they have now went without a red card. Incredible.
Exactly. But you need to start attacking them. I don't care. I mean, because he's only getting anywhere anyway. You know what I mean? So what's the difference?
We need the leadership at the club, and we need the leaders to come out. You need the sporting director, the CEO, and they need to go in the media. But the problem we're fighting the media as well, Gary, because that's political as well. That's another story, mate, and you're aware of that as well. Yeah.
Of course, Sam. But enough's enough. You know what I mean? Because if it carries on, Scottish football right now, Scottish football is a laughing stock, right? You see it in Europe, you see it everywhere. There's only one way it's going to change, and it is, and I hope Hearts win this league, but they won't be allowed to win the league, because I told you before, nobody else apart from them is going to win that league. Until until other clubs waking up and stand by you, because I know what's going on. You know what I mean? Until they stand by you and say, no, wait a minute, this cannot go on. I mean, they're just hoovering up everything. Do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable what's going on.
Can I ask you your opinion on the two big incidents yesterday? Well, three. We think our red card was a red card, mate, yeah?
Yes.
And there, the boy, when he left his foot on in the goal, we think that was a red card as well, because he moved his foot towards him. It was a coward's tackle, yeah?
Oxshire, you've got a player booked for celebrating years ago. Andy Halliday. Right, so that says it all. You know what I mean? I've seen their players attacking Rangers players, laughing at them. Scott Brown used to do it all the time. New McGregor does it. You know what I mean? They're very, very cute, very sleek. You know what I mean? Wee fouls, wee grabs, pull them back, stop play. You know what I mean? Break it down. But they do it. Every one of them do it now. You know what I mean? Because they know they can get away with it. But the minute you do it, now what? I mean, there's only one way that is to take drastic action. See what happens. He's walking off the park. I know it's stupid, you know what I mean? But something like that needs to be done. Your captain needs to go, no, you know what? Enough's enough here. And call it out, you know? Just call it out and just say, no, somebody gets on the telly and shows it. Just say, look at all these. Look at them all. You know what I mean?
What did you make of the penalty incident? Penalty kick and a second yellow. What was your views on that, mate?
My view on it, he knew what he was doing when he went down. Right.
It's decent defending, mate. It's decent defending.
Yes, it was smart. It was smart. No, it's not the first time that he does this. You know what I mean? You see him, that Ralston, he laughs. He just laughs because he knows, he just says, I can do what I want here, you know what I mean? Was there not an incident where the ball was going out of the play and the Celtic player punched it right out the park?
Aye, Johnston at Parkgate, aye.
So if you can get away with that, get away with anything. Yep, you get away with anything, Ox. Do you know what I mean? How bad is that? I've got guys here that are English guys, you know what I mean? And they say to me, that Scottish trip is unbelievable, you know. I said, you don't need to tell me what it's like, you know. I was going to swear there, you know what I mean? But
when did you start swearing, mate? When did you start swearing?
When I picked up my chits and Yaras.
Better not talk about that, mate, yeah?
I know, Ox, I know. But the older I get, the angrier I get because of the blatant things. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry for ranting and raving like a madman, you know what I mean?
We appreciate it, mate, because we appreciate your honesty, and we also appreciate that your first love as a football club, as your club, mate. I've known that, but I know you're one of always the most popular person in your own house, sir.
No, I wasn't. No. They used to laugh at me, you know what I mean? But anyway, I used to get the subway at Merton Street and go to Firhill myself. Me and wee John McElroy. I don't know if you remember him, you know, but we went everywhere with the Mox, you know what I mean? But hopefully that's us on the way back, you know what I mean? But honestly, mate, my heart goes out to you. It really does, you know. I don't know how much more he can take of all this, you know what I mean?
There's a statement for the club just broke, mate. I'm trying to get a hold of it, mate. AK, a neutral. Well, a neutral. I don't know if that's strictly true, but yeah.
An honest Partick fan.
Aye. No, not just a Partick fan. A Partick, you know what, boy. Okay.
Good man. Good pal. No, listen, it's there for all to see in Scottish football now, and it's about time that other clubs did start to waking up about the kind of open corruption that is going on now, and there's no doubt about it. When you finish leagues early, when you carry over a Scottish Cup just so that they can get a chance of winning another treble. They get handed leagues when there are games to go, when the rest of Europe can play out their games. They gave dubious calls in finals. 2019, Gerrard lost with the 3 or 4 players offside. The other one last year, it was more out than in. And that same guy that was calling that was on the linesman yesterday. Lo and behold, you know, so we know what's going on, but it's very hard to stop it.
Aye.
Do you want to hear the club's statement before you go, guys?
Yes, I hope so. I hope it's a strong one, mate.
Right, it is, but it'll never please everybody. But they've got to start the ball rolling. And remember, this is a new regime. Club representatives has met with the Scottish FA this evening to seek explanations for major decisions in the match, including the incident involving Jack Buckland and Austin Trusty. Following that meeting, we remain unsatisfied with the explanation of the referee's decision in that incident, the application of the laws of the game, because he gave the decision, he gave a foul, and he booked him, so he's obviously seen it, and the VAR review itself, which we do not believe was sufficiently robust or thorough. We recognise that the refereeing decisions can impact both sides in a game, true, but too many important matches continue to be influenced by the calls that are inconsistent and difficult to justify. These decisions have real consequences to determine results, impacting fans and affecting the livelihood of players coaches and staff who work as judged by the outcome on the pitch. The club has consistently raised the issue as they have occurred with the Scottish FA, but we do not feel there has been enough change in how refereeing is being developed at the highest level. We understand and share the anger among our support who have grown frustrated at repeated inconsistencies and major match decisions that continue to affect the club. For the benefit of our supporters and the wider game and the country, we feel continue to hold the Scottish FA to account and expect them to lead meaningful progress that delivers lasting improvement. I believe they were having an open night for referees in Carfin tonight. That's my understanding. But that's another story. Guys first, and then AK, and then hopefully Bridges back with us. On you go, Carrie.
That was a good statement. Oh, that's better than what I thought you were going to come out with. Right, now the next thing they need to do is they need to go after Doncaster. That's who
killing the game in Scotland. He's killing it, mate.
Killing it. He's killed it, Ox. He's killed it. And you know what? What a contract that guy's got. Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't say nothing, does he? You never hear him coming out and saying anything, do you? Because he's told, didn't he? He's been wound for the back, isn't he? Just shut up. You sit there. You're a patsy, and shut there, and you just say what I want you to say. But the main problem is the guy at the top of that club over there, and you know who he is. He is the problem. Yep. Now, that thing we had a go at him last week, and he's been told to shut up. I know. Do you know what I mean? So they get rid of him. You know what I mean? So that just shows you the power they've got, Ox. But no, that was a great statement. Now, it's 5:05 here in Western Australia, and it's Melbourne Cup Day, Ox.
4th of November.
Yes. Now, you want a wee laugh, Ox? And this is true, by the way.
Cheer me up, mate.
I'll send you a photograph. I'm going to a do where I stay now. It's a lifestyle village. And they're giving out prizes for the best dressed male and the best dressed lady. And guess what I'm going to?
A lifestyle village?
Yes.
That sounds a big camp for me. Big camp. Carry on, mate.
And guess what I'm going dressed as? A jockey. And my colours are red, yellow and black.
What is it? Is it stripes or hoops, mate?
It's a cross.
All right, that's all right, mate. So some people might say that's a sash, mate.
Well, it is a sash, both sides. I'll love using leafy socks.
You enjoy your day. Listen, Gary, thanks for the call, mate. We always like having you on, mate, yeah?
Thank you, Ox. And
keep up with you soon. Keep up the fight.
And keep up the fight. And remember the words, mate, no surrender. Okay?
All right, cheers, mate.
Bye, mate. Bye.
AK.
Good call for Gary there. And enjoy your day. Sounds like a good scene dressing up as a jockey.
You fancy it, AK? You fancy it?
No. I'm far too big for a jockey. I'm merely at the back end of a horse.
The Rangers Radio pantomime horse.
A good call for Gary. Obviously used to go back a long way, but he's lost his accent, I see.
He's been doing it for a long time, mate. Yeah, good guy. Comes with good stock, good guys.
Good.
Yeah. Listen, known him a long time. Yeah. What did you make of the statement, mate?
It certainly puts a spotlight that we're unhappy, but they're obviously unhappy with the referee's explanation. And when you see other forums and other platforms where the referees they know their stuff, they're saying it's a red card, particularly the trusty one. The second one is open for debate a wee bit, I suppose. But for me, it should have been a penalty and a second yellow. But
if that might not happen if Trusty gets sent off. The game's different, yeah.
No, I know.
We could have lost 4-0. We might have won 5-1. You'll never be able to answer that. But
listen, sorry, just briefly before you go to bed, we've already had incidents this year already with a handball with Shankland at Ibrox, and obviously Kilmarnock the same day getting a penalty that they should never have been given as well. So And what does Wally call him? They apologised 2 weeks later, but the damage has already been done. And the damage was already done yesterday.
All right, I'll cut across you. We've been joined by
Yep.
John. Evening, John.
Hello.
Evening, John. How you doing, mate?
Not bad, pal. Just regarding that sending off, that was a ridiculous, man. That was a 50-50 ball, you know what I mean?
I've got to be honest with you, John. He's giving. If it had been other way about, I'd have been looking for a red card all day long. Got to be honest.
No,
John,
it wasn't a red card. It was a 50-50 ball. He shouldn't be sent off, you know what I mean?
AK?
I'm in John's field. How were you, John? How were you?
Definitely, man. Definitely.
AK?
You know. What do you think?
I'm with Ox, I'm afraid. That's 2 each. You've just balanced the books there for us, John, but no, I'm with Ox. Listen, it's open for debate. I know the boy's tried a skill move and it's nearly came off, but he's marked the boy, and if that's the other way about, I'm screaming for a red card
I don't
for
think
us.
it's intentional, but it's just the way he can through
No,
the
I
ball,
agree,
you know what I mean?
no.
Try to get...
I agree totally.
I agree,
it
yeah.
Intentional, John.
It's definitely not intentional. I mean, I sat and watched the full game. I mean, they went into the second half, man down, and then it went to extra time. I mean, it could have went the other way, you know what I mean? But the other man went, definitely was ending off for me, man.
Well, I think the big moment is with the sending offs, mate, that the trusty one just before half time's a red card, mate, and then that balances it out and the game's different. Yeah. And I think
Well, there should have been a few kids, to be honest with you. But that one there was just absolutely fucking shocking. Sorry for swearing, shocking. That was shocking, man.
listen, I agree with everything else, John. If it happened the other way about, I'd have been screaming for a red card. Got to be honest.
Aye.
If one of their
Aye,
players
yeah.
had done the exact same tackle on one of your players, I'm looking for a red card. Rich,
Aye.
wouldn't he be saying, no, just shake hands and go on with it? I'd be looking for a red card. AK?
Unbelievable, man.
Aye.
Anyway,
No,
first time caller.
Yep.
Still listening now.
Is it?
On
On you go, John. No, on you go, pal.
No, just time me, first time caller, and just wanted to say, time me a wee bit of a piece there, you know what I mean? That's it.
No, mate, listen. It's all about opinions. Everybody sees the game slightly different. What about the trusty one? How did you see that, John?
The what, man?
Trusty, right before half time. The tackle on the goal.
See, I go to the end of the, well, no, the end of the first half, and I hurry up to see the second half. So I didn't see it. I seen to boy it.
Well, go and check that out, John. Go and check that out, the trusty one, mate, and you'll find that. That was arguably a bigger moment because then it should have been 10 against
I'm going
10.
to watch the highlights tonight. I'm going to watch the highlights in the night.
Right. Listen, thanks for the call, mate. Look, you're welcome to stay on, but good points, mate. Look, we all see it slightly different, but I'm being honest.
Well, you give me the second half. You seen the tail and a half, second half, goes to extra time. It could have been, I mean, it could have went the other way. But that one there for the end offer, nah, no chance.
If I was a ref and that happened in two neutral teams, I'm getting a red card.
I wouldn't have, nah. Not a game like that. Nah. Not a game like that.
It's a red card. I mean, the laws of the game, mate. He's not in control. He's caught the guy by his positioning his leg, mate.
But it's not been intentional, that's the thing, but it's not been intentional. He's not coming down intentionally.
Doesn't matter, mate. Doesn't matter. He's not in control. He's not in control. AK?
Aye, I'm with you, Ox. But listen, John's entitled to his opinion, as is Bridget. Listen, there'll be people out there going, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but if we all seen it the same way, it would be boring. But it did make a massive effect in the game because, as I say, 80 minutes down to 10 men playing against that, holding the game as the game went on. So Ox is right. They should have been down to 10 at half time, and then that makes it a totally different psychologically as well as just numbers, you know. But the team, I think, deserved to take it to at least extra time, but unfortunately they're running out of gas in the extra time, and we chalk off another loss in a big game against them. That's the unfortunate thing.
Never.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the wee
cheers,
point
John.
right across.
Good to hear from you.
Good
Yeah.
talkies.
Good to hear from you.
Cheers, man.
Go and watch that Trusty one, mate. You'll get more angry when you see
I'm
that.
going to catch it. I'm going to catch it tonight.
Yeah, you'll get more angry when you see that.
No bother.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Fair play to John. Everybody sees the game different. Yeah. Everybody sees the game different. Bridgeman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. It's look, that's the game. That's the game of football. And you know, if you're watching something at the side of your eye, you see something else, and so on and so forth. And that's the way football is. You don't not always see everything from the correct angle to make your decisions, but you make your decisions nevertheless. You know, look, I'm no stupid. I know our team. We know, and yet throughout our team, we've got people there who, for some reason or other, are not getting games consistently. So we're getting close to half a season done, and some of these players have hardly started a game. Some of the guys in our books in our squad, and I don't know why they're there. Then that's the question I've got to ask: why are they there? We brought them in, blah blah blah, all the nonsense, you know. So hopefully, come this the transfer window, we manage to get a wee bit of movement and get a couple of bob and get some players of a better quality.
I mean, that's a whole show. So maybe not the night time to talk about it, but that transfer window, AK, it's just been a disaster, isn't it? You know, the money, Asgard, Fernandez, Dimitri at the moment, yeah, Majowski. Also, if we're honest, mate, they were the poor positive signings. We thought, right, okay, we'll see. They've come in. They're the one we brought in to improve our team. It's not happened, does it? And
No.
And whether you can judge this same group to go to the well again, I don't think I've got any confidence in them. I don't know about you.
No, it's back to square one again. Danny Rowe will need to weed out a lot of who's with him and who isn't with him. we're back there again, but we've seen it coming. When Michael Beale made the decision to, Cholak, Sakala, Morelos, Arfield, we lost 47 goals, league goals out of our team that season and replaced them with Dessers, Danilo, Lammers, Cifuentes, etc. Well, for last season, we lost Igaman, Cherny and Dessers, 63 goals between them, and we look nowhere near replacing them now, so that's a huge problem if you're not scoring and conceding silly goals.
You know that boy Egamani, did he not score a hat-trick last week?
Aye, probably.
No, positive. I saw his name, scored a hat-trick. Fabulous. I like him.
Well, we know he's good enough he was, but we kind of look back. He didn't want to be with his mate, so it's gone. Yeah, but he listen, him up there, Igamani's better than three of them up there than some of the players we've watched so far this season. But he's a talisman. He was an entertainer as well and could do things that not a lot of players can do. But we've got one that can't hold it or play it up to him or jumps under it. He's 6'4", plays 5'2". You know. Anyway, we'll get on board, Billy. Evening, Billy.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Hi, Billy.
How's it going?
Hi, Billy.
All right, mate. I've been sitting with interest listening to a lot of your comments and your blaring. To be honest with you, I couldn't agree with you more, guys. On 99.9% of the things that you've spoken about. I was going to phone in yesterday, but I was on my high horse because obviously I wouldn't say it. Corruption in refereeing cost me just under £1,000. But listen, Ox, I'll give you my thoughts in the game, mate. And if you just bear with me, buddy, right? I can blare, but I'll try and rattle through this as quick as I can, mate. Right? So I thought in the first half, mate, we were all over the place, to be honest with you, right? All over the place. We never got a grip of the game at all. I thought Celtic were by far the better team in the first half. That said, we had three brilliant chances in the first half. 3 brilliant chances, mate. Chermiti's got to score the 2 goals. He's got to score. Satters, he's got to score. For £8 million, mate, he's got to be busting the net there. Then you've got the other one we're asking, right? If instead of going to the keeper's near post, I don't know if he's trying to go for power for. He should have hit up and in step his right foot and went across the keeper. Or is the keeper's right hand side, so obviously Raskin's left. You know. So instead of getting in 3-1 up at half time, with possibly well, it should be a player sent off for Celtic. We're getting 1-0 down with 10 men. What am I watching here? You know, I thought the second half, folks, I thought we were brilliant. You know, we got the penalty and we had them rocking, by the way. It was like watching a punch-drunk boxer on the ropes. We had them rocking all over the place. To be honest with you, mate, they excuse my French, they shot it in that second half, you know. And then we get the penalty. How he stood on the park, I'll get to that in a minute, right? But all in all, when it goes into injury time, mate, and you're playing for roughly 80 minutes with 10 men against that, and then against the referee, then for what we've done through the full period of the game, I thought we done really well, and we're very unlucky. You know, it's no sour grapes. This is the way it is, you know. But I'll tell you, see this kind of another thing that's really scunning me now, right? And I listened to the Rangers statement there, and it's good that we're calling this out. But we need to go. The Rangers Football Club need to go for the juggler now, right? Because see this referee nonsense that is. Oh, it's incompetent refereeing. Or yes, they made a mistake 2 weeks later, and it'll be rectified. That's no good to us now. The game's done, right? This is not about incompetence anymore, in my opinion, right? This is corruption in football. And they can greet about it all they want and laugh about it all they want. And they can have all the clowns out there saying, listen to this lunatic on Rangers Radio. You know what, guys? I couldn't give a what you think out there. I'm talking the truth. And you don't like the truth there at Purgatory FC, right? And old Davey is in that hospital now, and I hope he's listening. That old man called out last week, guys, when he says, I'm concerned about the officials, right? And VAR came out and said the 2 tackles were reckless, i.e. the Rangers player that he gets sent halfway, and the one on the big Celtic player on Butland in the penalty box when he kicked him in the head. VAR says the 2 of them were reckless. That's what VAR said. Right, so if one's a red card and reckless, how's the other one only a yellow card, but it's reckless? Make that make sense. You know, it's absolutely scandalous. Then you look at it, they're another thing I know. Celtic committed 20 fouls in the game. 20 fouls. They get 6 yellows.
I think it was better than that, Billy. I think it was actually better than that.
It could be, maybe. Right, Rangers 10, 3 yellows and 1 red. That Maeda must have committed about 7 or 8 fouls, and he gets booked late on in the game. No.
Yeah, right. We'll go back, but I mean, we've covered it, and we agree with most of the things you've said. And the big moment for me is, look, right at half time, mate, the trusty one, AK, it's not even just a red, it's a sleek kick. Yeah, it's a coward's tackle. Now, I'll give you my opinion on it. I think our Asgard he's trying to pirouette and turn and flick, and he's got his foot in away up in the air, mate, and caught the guy. I don't think there was any intention in it, but I still think it was a red card. Yeah. You know, but their one was sleek it and a kick to the head, and how Walsh can hear that decision. I agree with the club statement. I'm baffled with it. I was baffled yesterday at half time, and I feared the worst at half time. And you lost that anger because the second half, the momentum swung AK.
Oh, 100%. And Billy's right. Billy's right. He's calling it as he sees it. It's just there's ways and means and words to skirt round about the issue, but Rodgers called beating a cheat at Tynecastle all the games ago, and which it resulted in. They've not had a red card since then, Billy. So that they've obviously influenced the referees in their favour, and we come out with feeble statements. We don't carry on, but how do we? We just accept it. This time last year, the League Cup final, it was more out than in, and then they have that guy running the line yesterday. I mean, they shouldn't have been near an all-firm game. If they can't be neutral as officials, they shouldn't be involved in the game whatsoever. But they wonder why the Scottish officials haven't major championships. You know, it's as if they've sacrificed themselves just to benefit them, because you know who's pulling the strings, and it's so obvious. What can we do?
You know, I actually forgot it was Walsh at Easter Road who never gave that goal.
Correct. Gary said that earlier. Yeah.
I forgot about that to Gary said it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry to jump in and all. It was, remember, never just mind that one. What about the same referee that sent Diamante off up at Dundee United? You know, and he was basically, no, it's a red. You heard the VAR getting played back. He's yapping about that. No, I'm sending him off. He's off. Basically, he's telling, no, I'm sending him off. You know, and he went earlier with the wee pigeon chest and all that, and he was adamant. He just made a pure fool of himself. But no, do you know what's wrong with us Rangers, right? We're no streetwise in that park, right? Because see when you seen the tackle with Asgard on the Celtic player, right?
They all surrounded, didn't they?
Right, correct, mate. Correct. That Maeda must have ran 5 or 10 years to try and get to Asgard. What happens when Butland gets kicked in the head? Why is Butland no holding his head or maybe kick, or jump up and say to the referee, "Oh, referee, you know got to do that. I had a kick my head there." Why no can put him right on the spot like they do with us? That's what I'm saying, you know. And why was the rest of the Rangers players no surrounding the referee like they were? The Celtic players surrounded him. So we need to get more streetwise in this. And until we do that, nothing's got to change.
But also, Billy, look, we also have to put the ball in the net when we've got sitters.
Oh, mate. All day long, Ox. I couldn't agree with you more, mate. Listen, I'm 57-year-old, mate, and I played up front, mate. See the 2 chances that he had, right? And I never made the grade professional. I played at a good level amateur, right? But I'll tell you one thing, mate. I'm feeling away with the 2 of them. Because they 2 are in the back of the net for me, with both feet, by the way. You know, how he missed him for £8 million, I do not know. You know,
listen,
and Ox, I was one of the... I wouldn't give you 8 pence. I wouldn't give you 8 pence for him, mate. I'll tell you something about that, mate. I was one of Big Dessers' biggest critics, right? But I'll tell you one thing. At least you can't make it go with that big man. And I'll tell you something new. I would take 10 Dessers over him 7 days a week, mate. Because that big Dessers were a scored 2 chances yesterday. All day long.
I don't disagree, mate. I mean, it's just no improvement. He just looks like a boy learning his trade, and he happens to be 6'4". Now, I know we want big players, powerful players in our team to help with the league we play in, but that just shows you, Bridgeman, you've got to be able to play as well. Bridge?
Yep. We're speaking about the bad tackle again on the goalkeeper.
No. I've got to AK. Dimitri,
right, okay.
You've got to be able to play as well, AK, yeah?
Oh, 100%. Aye. You've got to contribute to the team. You've got to take your chances, but we've got to remain solid as a unit. And we didn't do that. Billy's right. We were all over the place the first half, you know, and players were kind of putting the kind of... I think Rob described it as you go to play the occasion, or to play the game, know the occasion, and our players look as if they were caught in the headlights for the first whistle.
Agreed.
All right. We'll be joined by Bob Jar. Evening, Bob Jar.
Good evening. How you doing, everybody? I'm feeling as low as anyone. I don't know. I went up this morning, up the local reservoir with the duggies a day every morning, and honestly, I felt like a strike on the ghost train. You know. Kaniti, Ant-Man, Asgard, Road by Rami, the North Macedonian fella that played with Aberdeen. This is my memory playing up again. Majowski. You wouldn't make a football player out of 4 of them. There you go. I hear Billy giving it tight there to Chernity, and rightly so. And he's exactly right what he says. That Dessers would have buried the 2 chances, but whatever. At the end of the day, lads.
He might know her. Because Dessers...
Well, there's always a possibility he wouldn't help, aye. But all said and done, kicks in the head, missed chances, poor form. We're out of the competition, we're beat 3-1, which has got to go on. had a good run at it yesterday. Me and Old Bear were going to town on it yesterday, and I didn't think we were far off the mark, obviously, but that was yesterday. And it's scarsome because you pick on them because they're no great, but I'll tell you, they were better than us yesterday. See that first half? I never want to see a performance for a Rangers team like that again. As you said, the rabbits in the head, like static, disorganised, everything bad. And I'm not blaming Danny Rule. I'm just blaming the fact that it's a load of Martin signings and it's going to take us a while to get out of the Martin disaster, because that's what it was. So, what we faced on Thursday is totally different. Sorry?
Martin Stroke Fairwell, mate. Yeah, he's not getting off scot-free, in my opinion.
Oh, he's not getting off scot-free with either. No, I mean, there's something broke your knee here. And what they ever seen in that boy, somebody just never scored a goal for 2 years. I don't know. I don't want to pick on the boys. He's a young boy. He's played at a level I never played it. Like Billy said.
Oh, has he, Bob?
Come on.
He's been on the park. He's not played. He's been on the park. He's not played. There's a difference.
No, well, he's still played. He'd want to strike against Kilmarnock. Well, fair enough. But there you go. No. I just didn't care where we go for here. It was looking not too bad. I'm not blaming Danny Role. Danny Role's only inherited what he has inherited. And it's up to him. I mean, it'll change, I think, when he gets his own people in. If Selwell and Stewart allow him to get his own people in, then he's Scunner the boy. And let's hope all that doesn't transpire. This is a different entity that we're playing on Thursday. I'll just say to get up for it again. So, there we go.
I think, yeah, Bob Jen, I'll come back to you, mate, but I'll take this to Billy, then AK can jump in, hopefully Bridge as well. Billy, the farewell statement when he spoke to his, he done the YouTube when he for the club, and he talked about all the things that's happened, and he talked about your meeting and he thinks he'll come good, mate. That's going to be like a rock round his neck, mate. Yeah, because look, we know good players when we see them. Now that boy might turn into a good player, but he looks miles off at this now, and he's not even got a good touch, mate. If you're honest,
no chance, mate. No chance. I don't. He's backed himself right into a corner there, big time. Listen, big time. He's backed himself into a corner there with a statement like that. But see, when you look at Tierney, right? See if you look at any basic football player, right? You even see. I mean, I was out a walk with a Doug the other day with the missus, and we're walking by the sports centre, right? And
this is a family show, brother. This is a family show.
We're walking by the sports centre, right? And they were the young laddies were playing in the AstroTurf at 5 sides and all that. And I stopped, and me and the missus stood and I'm having a wee look, just watching the laddies knocking the ball about. And I seen a cut. I says to Julie, look, watch this wee laddie here. I says, he looks a good wee player. He had touch, he had a wee bit junk about him, he had a great touch. He was wanting to turn out, he was wanting to go left, he was wanting to go right, and he had a wee trick or two. I says, look, that's a good laddie there, eh? And then we just walked away. Right, so if we can see it in, good players and young laddies, etc., and exactly what you're saying there, I've yet to see what this guy's got to be as a professional football player. Now, one, as a striker, you need confidence, right? But two, you've got to have touch, right? You've got to have 2 good feet. If you're wee, you've got to be strong, right? It doesn't matter if you're good in there, you'll make space for yourself. You've got to be good at holding the ball up. You've got to be good at running into wee pockets. You've got to be good at coming short and spinning off behind. You've got to be quick. I've yet to see any of them in this meeting. All I've seen is absolute garbage after this so-called £8 million football player. As for...
AK?
Sorry, mate, on you go.
AK?
Chermiti, we can't dress it up. I don't think...
The statement, go back to the statement.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be like a milestone around his neck, yeah?
Oh, 100%. But he's already had one of them already when he comes out and said that Russell Martin's one of the best coaches that he's ever worked with. So that's strike 2 with Ishin. I think that the proof is in the pudding about the quality or the lack of quality what you're seeing. And the fact that we're on our second manager already this season says, results isn't going the way it should be going. The Americans have put their trust, their faith, their money and everything into Patrick Stewart and Kevin Willwell to run the club. They do. I know he was in attendance yesterday, and fair play to Kavanagh, but they intended to run Rangers from afar, just the odd Zoom call or whatever across, but now they're having to be hands-on. So they must be doubting, surely they must be doubting Patrick Stewart and Kevin Thelwell's appointment, but they're allowing them to bring in their own people, bringing in his boy, bringing in his pal to run head of recruitment, head of academy. You're like, ah, come on, guys, you need to waking up here to actually see what they're doing with our club, because we can all see it, so why can't they?
Yeah, I was just quite, the Dimitri one's just going to be like a big rock on his neck, mate, because unless he starts scoring goals left, right, and centre, and I'm with Billy. If he was running through in goal, you've absolutely no confidence. You've less confidence in Bridgman than you had in Dessers and Healy's moment.
That's a good point. Now,
Healy's moments of brilliance as well. I mean, think of the goal at Old Trafford. Could you see Dimitri scoring that?
Yeah. But I think Chermiti, I think Chermiti scored a cracking goal the other day. I thought it was a great goal. Very happy for him. But he's young, he's raw, and to be honest, I don't know whether he's a reserve player or not. You know, I think that's probably his level in the reserve, as we know. I know allegedly he's been rated at something like 8 to 10 million, and I don't understand why. As I said earlier, him and Gigi, if they ever get a game in the Premier League, then they're going to be terrible. They'll get murdered. They'll get ripped open. No problem at all. We're just very poor quality. Now I think both of them are loan, aren't they? They're both loans.
No, Dimitri's a £10 million player, Bridge.
Have we bought him?
Aye, Bridge. Aye, 8 to 10 million. That's going to cost me.
Did we spend £8 million on him?
Yes, Bridge. Keep up with it. Keep up with the show.
Oh my God! I thought he was a loan player. I thought he was a loan. Sorry. Right, move on. I'm away.
You're having a Dimitri tonight on this show, mate. That's another story. Right. Bob, here, back to your point, mate. He just doesn't look like a player. Look, he wasn't the only reason we were poor, but when the ball went up, he didn't challenge. He was underneath the ball. He never went up against skills once. He comes short, goes underneath the headers. You'd be disappointed if a boy at 13 done that. Never mind a guy in the Rangers first team. Yeah? The flight of the ball. Yeah, you might get beat in the air, but that's a different thing altogether.
Well, I presume this is Trinity we're talking about, yeah?
Yes.
Aye, well, the thing I think to myself about the laddie is, does the laddie really want to be here? Is he another Tory Andrew Flo? He's only here for the money.
Absolutely.
This is all the questions you've got to ask yourself. Does that laddie think he's a big time child and should be playing in the Premier Division because he's no worth that? He's not even worth the first division down there. Maybe even the second division, which is pretty tough. And he's certainly not worthy of playing for Rangers. I'm sorry to be so scared, but it warrants it with the boy. He was such a disappointment yesterday. But at the end of the day, Trinity was, to be fair to the laddie, he wasn't the only disappointment, as I said when I came on.
No, you're right.
Your team was screwing. That Ashgard, does he think he's a big time Charlie? I know, as I said to Allbear yesterday, he's running about under like Mal Brown. Do you think he's too good to play up here because he's no? I can assure you, and he let everybody doing yesterday with that challenge. So I'm not going to analyse the challenge again. The day duties have done it earlier on, but he let Rangers do big time yesterday. He was the reason. He was one of the prime reasons we got beat, or the prime reason we got beat. Doing the 10 men against 10. It's a tough enough shift with a full squad. Sorry.
Was it a red card for you, Bob Chair?
Absolutely. Aye. Oh, you get with your studs like that. It's doing your studs like that. You're away. Get away.
Was that all?
Was it a red card for you, Billy?
The Asgard one?
Aye.
Aye. Yep. It's a red card for me, mate. Can I just mention? Can I mention something about strikers here, mate? Just out of interest, right? I'll give him in Mulder, mate, right? But I'm going to give five Rangers strikers, past and present, right? Just in 1 to 5, right? 1, Morelos. 2, Cholak. 3 Eagleman, 4 Dessers, 5 Chermiti. Look at all these strikers we've had. Morelos, Chola, Eagleman and Dessers. And look what we've got now. That not tell you something?
Yeah. Listen, obviously you can't come back and you can only go at a time, but I can understand the Mayoffsky one, you maybe sign him. I cannot, for the life of me, understand this Dimitri one. He doesn't look ready to play professional football, never mind first team football for us in our league and in Europe. AK. And I'm being honest, it doesn't look ready. If he comes through, I think somebody said if he come through our youth team with the way he plays, I don't think he's a better player than Josh Gentles. There you go. I'll say that. I don't think he's a better player or further down the road than Josh Gentles. And we put him out on loan. There you go. And I'm not saying that Josh is ready. AK, I can't be fairer than that.
Aye, no, I think you're right. Listen, it comes back to Kevin Thelwell. That's his signing. It's so obvious that that's his signing. Thelwell brought him to Everton, plucked him out of Sporting Lisbon, I think he was. I think he starred in an under-17 tournament and he thought he was going to be the next big thing. So rather than egg in his face for Everton, it looks as if we've just went, well, we'll just make it maybe a £2 million loss for these and I'll take it to Rangers and I'll get them sorted out there. That's what it looks like to me, but that's a big outlay of money for our club to put our faith in. And you're right, if it was coming through our youth team, you'd be putting him out on loan to toughen up at another club in the lower league, in the same way with probably Big Jigger. But that's what Wolves are doing to toughen them up here. And then we're getting the kind of dregs, so to speak. But they're paying out big money to go and get them in the first place. But they can afford these sort of losses. We can't. You know, Celtic had 2 young boys here on the park yesterday, Johnny Kenny and the boy Osman. The both scored. You know, we don't have that coming through. Or we're not giving them the opportunity. We had young Finlay Curtis, who seemed to have disappeared into obscurity. We had Lyle Cameron, who's the same with Rami. We've got options here, but all the 3 guys have just, disappeared. They're not getting an opportunity anymore, and we're having to rely on, Thelwell and Russell Martin signing. So you can't really point fingers at Rowe. He's trying to, make something out of a mess now. But what I'll say as well, what Billy mentioned, the aggression, the strikers in comparison to what we've got now. We were in worst enemy. You look at that European team that we had, and we were all critics of Golson and Barisic, and Lundstrom. There were plenty in that team that were. Scott Wright was another one, your favourite player, Ox. But would you say they players are probably better than what we've got now? Because we keep asking for change. Players keep asking for change. Manager, change owners, but we expect it to get better, and it's getting worse. So they're making poor decisions.
I didn't mind Big Golson, mate. Barisic is a better left back than we've got this now. There's similarities. He's better going forward than he is defending. The young boy is like Dimitri. I think Jaden going forward shows promise. He's obviously got good technique, pace, but he ain't a defender. He's miles off it. And if we've not got somebody further down the road in our B team to come in and ready, we're wasting our time with that. And that's another issue. We brought him in to learn his trade in the Rangers first team, Billy, and it's not right. He's miles off.
Oh, he is. Do you know what? As well, Ox, right? That I'm going to call out Thelwell in this, and I'm telling you the reason why, right? He has spent a hell of a lot of money, 8 or 9 million, whatever the figure was, right? We don't know, right? Say, for talking, say, £8 million on a laddie that's never put the ball in the back of the net or twice in 2 seasons, right? Now, some people will agree with me and some people will no, but I'm looking at the financial sense here, right? There was a guy out of contract here in the summertime who's Rangers daft, who's scored at every level in Scotland, who knows the Scottish League inside out, and he's a Scotland international, and he's Rangers daft. And he was out of contract there. And we never signed him. That's incompetence by Shelwell for paying £8 million for him when he could have took a punt on Shanklin for nowhere near the wages. A man that knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, and we would have got him for nothing. So he's cost Glasgow Rangers £8 million plus wages, by the way.
Plus the wages. Plus the wages.
Plus the wages. You know.
And you might stuck with him. You might be
Aye,
stuck.
and exactly. They could have had Shanklin near Ox for 2 years, a 2-year deal or something like that. It would have cost us peanuts, and that laddie would have ran to drap for the Rangers. And one thing he would have done, he would have scored goals. Big time scored goals. Right? He's maybe not the quickest, but boy, he knows where the back of the net is. Right? And see, as for Majowski, right, I'm going to cut him some slack. Right? I think he'll come good. And you know the reason I think he'll come good? That laddie needs a proper run in the team. No 10 minutes here, brought on for a sub, 20 minutes. He needs 90 minutes constantly under his belt for 3 or 4 games to get him right up to match speed. And if we can get him up to match speed, he's the man that could lead that line as a Rangers forward, in my opinion, Troops. But as for Chermiti, mate, no chance. No chance.
Does Danny Rowe bizarrely come out? Bridgman will go to Rush yesterday, with the way he kept going and tried to win the game. Does he come out with a wee bit of credit in the bank in a bizarre defeat? Or does it just go down as a defeat? What are you thinking, Bridge?
Well, I think the manager must get lots and lots of good kudos for what he did yesterday. Where the players were rotten in the first half, in general, but he changed a couple of things. Second half, he came out and they did the business. Whatever he changed people's mind, I thought they were brilliant in the second half. I give that to them. I thought they were excellent. So they put on a really good show for us. Look, it's inevitable. The decisions go against you, and all the rest of the thing. We know that your chances of winning against Celtic now are virtually zero. But we can go and we can do it. And play against them. We now know, and this manager, he's got shall we say, a wee idea now what's happening in Scottish football. He's played against a couple of top teams there, and he's just there. He sees it. That game's going to open his eyes wide as to what's going on and how we play against them. We've got to be tougher. And I'm not taking anything away for the guy. As far as I'm concerned, he's going to learn and learn quick, and he has to. And the way he talks is excellent.
Yeah. I think he's a gentleman, mate, by the way. I know a gentleman when I see one. I see it in the mirror every morning. Right. AK, is some credit in the bank, bizarrely, for yesterday? Yeah?
I would say so, Ox, aye. I would say so. It's he's still learning his team, he's still learning the club, he's still learning the opponents. So aye, and it showed a kind of braveness, rather than accept the defeat, or maybe out the worsened of the players would have capitulated. It showed you the bit of resilience about them, and he made certain personnel changes that brought us back into the game, and we were the team on the ascendancy, particularly in that second half, and that's credit to him. Down to 10 men. You remember many years ago, Billy Oxford, you all remember this. David Robertson gets sent off. I think it was about 3 or 4 minutes in the game. It's a silly challenge, but we win that game 1-0. And that comes down to pure character. Correct. A pouring wet night at Hampden, but that team had character. That team had, resilience. They had everything, and that's where we hope to get to. But if they're showing that sort of resilience and endeavour, then it's a good start. But they need to, don't put yourself in that position. Start on the front foot. And that's where our kind of failures come about. But to recognise we were only 1-0 down at half time, it should have been 10 men each, and then we go again. So aye, Danny Rule in his first 4 games in charge, aye, no bad at all.
Aye, slightly different question, Billy. Do you think, in the same circumstances, the previous manager would have been able to get a tune out of him, or do you think Danny Rose come in and shown up how bad he actually was.
That's exactly correct. No chance. No, it's flying there, and that's me putting it politely. Would he got a tune? And that's the reason he's not in the job. Everybody could see it, you know. That's another black mark against that clown, Thelwell's great whatever it is, seeing things for what it is, etc., etc. But Danny Roll, right? Was he my choice? No, he wasn't, mate. Certainly, and I was quite outspoken against him. But I'll tell you one thing, right? And my reason for that was because I was sick. But I'm sick watching Glasgow Rangers, the team we love, getting shafted by manager after manager after manager, and it keeps going tits up all the time. Pardon the pun, right? But I don't know what it is about this guy, but I've started to, I would say, change my mind about him, Ox. I think he's got something about him that we never seen. It could possibly be a blessing in disguise with Danny Rowe, because he's set in game time. If he's setting his team out to go and win that game and it doesn't, it's not happening. He changes it accordingly, and if he can change that accordingly, playing with 10 men to run Celtic all apart on that big park at Hampden, then he's obviously got something about him there. So I think the board now, right? Never mind Thelwell. The quicker he's out the door, the better. The board need to back this manager. We need to back him and give this guy the tools that he requires to take the Rangers forward. Because if that's improvement he's shown in the last 4 games, just coming in as a coach, it can only get better if he's got the better players round about him that he wants.
He's only ways 2 weeks, mate. I think it was 2 weeks a day he joined.
There you go then, Ox. You know, it's that we've had 2 victories and 2 defeats. You know, one's obviously the two defeats are two shared ones, aren't they? One against your Purgatory FC and then another one in the Europa League. You know, but you go to cut him in slack for that one and all in the Europa League because he was only basically in the door for 24, 48 hours or something. You know, and then he was away picking the team. You know, but I think we've definitely got something here with this boy. And as I said, if he continues to progress and the fans can see what he's trying to do, and I believe the fans can see what he's trying to do, I think he'll be a good one for the future for us, taking us forward, Docs. But we've got to back him. We've got to back him, mate.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question, Oxford?
Yes, of course, Chris.
I want everybody to answer this if they can. I sometimes get a wee bit about thoughtful about things, and you know we're battering for years. We've been killing ourselves against what's happening with the action against the SFA 11, you know, and the referees and so on. See that incident where the goalkeeper got kicked in the head. What would you have thought if our manager had decided to take his team off? It was just in a protest. That was a terrible, terrible decision. I think Rangers might end up having to do something like that. You know, just to say, "Oh, we've had enough. That's it. We're off."
That was a point that Gary made for Australia, mate. Obviously, that's a big call, mate, in a professional game of football. And then, well, put it this way, there was a club that remained nameless costing us a referee strike. It's not worked too bad for them, but we don't want any favours, AK. That's the point. We just want fair play. Look, people can debate about they've got their opinion on the Ascard one. For me, it's a red card, but so's the other one a red card. I think we're fair. Yeah, we're fair. So all we're looking for is fairness. We're not looking for favours. For some people are not looking for fairness. They're looking for favours. AK.
Aye, correct. Go back to it. Rogers called beating a cheat, and they've not had a red card since. All he got was a 1-game suspension. It was meant to be 2, and it just so happened to be, if you remember right, I think the second game was an Old Firm game. So they made it a 1-game suspension. So it was just basically a slap in the wrist, but job done. But you're right, Ox. I don't know how we go about this. We don't want to go down that route, but how long do we have to take this? How long do we have to accept it? Because we've done nothing about it thus far. It's good coming out with statements and that actions. is what you're suggesting, Bridge. I wouldn't like to see us go doing it, but it needs to stop. And
You're 100% right.
I don't know, pal.
Anyway, we've reached that time of the evening. Listen, last word for your good self, Bob Chair. Good to hear from you, mate.
I agree with what you're saying. You mind some years ago, Alex Ray got sent off in Russia for kicking somebody on the head. That's the rules of the game. You just don't do that. It's a straight red. All we're asking is you say is a bit of fairness, no specialist treatment. Well, this is an agenda in this country against Glasgow Rangers. It's too big a topic to talk about. It's the end of the night. So what I'll say is, that's my point. So I'll say, thanks for having me, lads. Lick the wounds. On we go to Thursday to a tough Europa League Cup tie against Roma. And we'll see how we go on. And Danny Roll will turn things around in time. I'm confident of that. Cheers now, boys.
Cheers, mate. Billy?
Well, Ox, I called it when I came on as corruption, and I make no apologies and no surrender for it, mate. Onwards to no Pope of Roma on Thursday, guys, and thanks for taking my call.
Cheers, mate. Good to hear from you. AK.
Good show tonight. I thought that it would be. Plenty of opinions out there for the Bears, and quite rightly so. So we'll put the statement in there. We'll see where it goes. But thanks again, Ox. We look forward to Thursday. Roma, come on, the Rangers.
Yes. Bridgeman.
Well, we're going to say, Ox, it was a tremendous night tonight. I kept losing the connection for a wee while, my audio, but managed to come back again. So apologies if I dropped out a couple of times. But can I just say, I thought really good discussions. And by the way, that last 15 minutes of discussions, I thought were very excellent. We're touching base with a lot of people's thoughts, you know. But anyway, what can I say? A big thank you to yourself, Foxchair, and AK for helping me out through it. And of course, the techie boys in the background. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening all over the world, it's the biggest game of the season coming up very, very soon on Thursday, very soon. And we need to be ready for it. We need to get that, whatever happened to us yesterday, and get it out of our minds. And let's go on. Let's do it. Let's do it for the Rangers. Keep it going for the Rangers, everybody, because the Rangers need us.
Yep, can I just thank Gary, who phoned in all the way from Western Australia. Great call, Gary. John, first time caller. Great to hear from John. Seen it slightly different from myself, but fair play to him for taking the time to phone in. Thanks to Bob J. and Billy for joining us here at Rangers Radio, and of course AK and Bridgeman for doing the show. Thanks to Tech, boys in the background, Fox and Old School Blue, who are sorted us out tonight and let us put a show on, even though there's been some technical updates. So fair play to the boys for that as usual. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Never remember this. Never forgive, never forget, and we are still the people. Take it away, Old School Blue.